Hi guys, welcome to another video. It's been a while since I've done a voiceover commentary, so I figured it's about time. The piece I'm working on in this video is a recent book cover commission that I finished earlier this month. You guys probably saw it in an earlier Patreon post. I don't usually take commissions because I'm already stretched so thin, but I've made an exception for this one because the author really sold me on the idea and it really sounded like something that landed within my wheelhouse. I had also been toying around with the idea of taking occasional book cover gigs every once in a while, like in the future. And, an artist I really look up to is Charlie Bowater, if you guys know who she is. And her book covers are so beautiful, and there is kind of like a part of me that would like to eventually get to her level. And also, as silly as it sounds, her level of like prestige or whatever in like the book color illustration world someday, but in my own kind of style. Although I don't really know that I would ever want to become a full-time book cover illustrator, to be honest. My real goal is just to be able to draw artwork and tell the stories that I have in my own heart, but taking a book cover job every once in a while sounded kind of fun. So the fact that this had been like going through my head for a while also made me, or helped me, decide to just go ahead and give this book cover a go and take on this commission. Kind of going along with this, I wanted to talk about finding the balance of what opportunities to go for and what opportunities to pass on. Sometimes it can be really hard to decide whether or not to go for an opportunity, especially during those times when it doesn't seem like there are very many opportunities coming in and you gotta kind of take what you can get. But even when you have multiple opportunities coming in, or you are already pretty busy and like just something new pops up, it can be kind of difficult to decide what to go for and what to just kind of turn down. So when an opportunity comes up, here are some questions I like to ask myself. Do I really, really need the money? And I'm not talking about would it be nice to have the money. I'm talking about need. Like, I have bills to pay, no other job, no other money coming in, and we just got to get some sort of cash kind of need. It's not just a nice to have. It's like we got to have like money now. I feel like this is important to point out because if you are earning let's see, even if you are earning money, there's an opportunity cost to taking a gig that, I'll talk about the opportunity cost, in a second. But if the answer to this question is yes, it may be that the next questions that I ask are kind of overridden because like I need this money no matter what, but still good to consider. If the answer is more like no, but it would be nice, I think it's really important to consider the next questions before saying yes to a gig. So the next question that I like to ask is this something I think I will enjoy? Like, do I want to do it? If I don't need the money, I don't really want to spend my time and effort working on something that I know I will hate. Or even working on something that I will like not hate, but just not really enjoy, or maybe that I won't enjoy as much as some other stuff I could work on. So yes, is it something that I think I'll enjoy and enjoy working on? And that also goes to, does the commissioner or the company or whatever, whoever you're working with, do they seem like someone you will enjoy working with and communicating with? Sometimes it's hard to know right off the bat if a client is, amazing or if a client is going to be tough, but sometimes there are warning signs. Most people, to be honest, are great, but you do hear those horror stories about companies or clients that turn out to be a bit of a nightmare. So if possible, if any red flags come up, it's good to try and notice those and avoid them early on. The next question is, will I enjoy it enough or have a better portfolio piece and or connections from taking this gig than I would have had if I had spent the time working on a new personal illustration or project or whatever it is you're working on? For me, it's usually an illustration. So that question is like, basically, will the benefits of this potentially be more than if I were to create a new personal illustration? Will it be an amazing portfolio piece? Will it be really fun? Will I make an amazing connection that might be handy down the road? For me, it's been actually really rare that any sort of commission or even commercial commission helps my illustration portfolio more than my personal illustrations do. But sometimes a good connection can come from a gig, or maybe it's something like a book cover that falls within the genre of work that I have been thinking about getting into, like this piece that I'm working on in this time lapse. So it does actually make a good portfolio piece that could potentially lead to more book cover commissions if that's what I want to do. So hopefully this makes sense. The next question is, how busy am I? Do I even have time to squeeze this in? Is it realistic? If I am literally at my limit or even close to my limit, when it comes to time and all of the stuff I have going on, and an opportunity comes in, but the deadline is in like a week or a month or something, but I know that I'm interested, I can ask if it's okay to push the project to the next month, since I'm fully booked this month. Or I can look at my other projects, if it's not possible to push it, I can look at my other projects and see if there's any way to rearrange the other stuff that I have going on. However, it is good to take a look at your limits and remember to schedule in non-productive time. Sometimes, okay, so I'm really guilty of this, you guys. Sometimes when I'm in a good mood, it's really tempting for me to schedule out like every moment thinking I will be productive, and I'll be thinking like, yeah, I can totally do all of the things. But then down the road, usually later in the month, all of that overbooking myself catches up to me and I find myself extremely overworked and stressed out. Now, I hate missing deadlines. Like, I feel like a huge sense of failure, and it really hits my ego, and just I feel like, the world is falling apart if I miss a deadline. So I almost never miss a deadline, but it's at a cost to my own sort of, I guess, mental health, but like relaxation time. Not that I'm very good at ever scheduling that into my day, but it's basically at a cost to myself. It's at a cost to my mental health. It's at a cost to my body. It's at a cost to my relationships. So it's actually very important to not overscope and remember that you need that relaxation time and that family time and all of that other stuff. You can't be productive every waking moment, which I'm still learning that, basically. I'm learning to be more careful about not saying yes too much, and also allowing projects to take more time than I originally think that they will take. So if I think that an illustration will take me maybe like 2 days, well, then I should probably think that illustration will take more, like at least 4 days, but maybe more, maybe 5 or 6 days. Because usually that's how it goes. You're not always productive. You might hit snags in the road. We tend to be really optimistic about how quickly we can get things done. And sometimes if I'm in a certain mood and I'm in a flow, I can be really fast. But most of the time, stuff takes a lot longer than you think it will. And that's okay. You just have to plan for it. Okay. So something else I wanted to talk a little about was creating opportunity, because I know there are probably some of you out there who are thinking, well, that's all fine and well, Krista, but I'm having trouble even getting commissions, and I get it. I used to be there. It's frustrating when you are actually looking for opportunities, but they aren't showing up yet. And I say yet for a reason. Many opportunities come from the actions that you took earlier. And I'm not just, it's kind of cause and effect, right? But I'm not just talking about like, oh, I made a post and so now I'm expecting a bunch of commissions to roll in tomorrow. I'm talking about long-term cause and effect. For example, all of the time spent learning to draw, developing an art style, and consistently putting work out into the world on social media to see for years, like consistently over years, I'm talking. Those actions eventually lead to individuals and companies approaching me for commissions or other sorts of work. If you're having trouble finding opportunities right now, it could just be that your seeds are still growing. Like maybe you've planted some, but it's still just a little sprout. You need to keep nurturing it. Keep drawing, keep improving, keep putting your work out there for the world to see, and the seeds will keep growing. I know that there's, maybe you've heard this before in some like self-help bullshit books, but it's true that like in our society, we tend to prioritize intensity. So like, oh, I'm gonna draw for, a weekend of like intense drawing, and we're gonna do a game jam, and oh, it's gonna be amazing. But if you only do that like once a year, well, it's not going to be anything compared to someone who just does a little bit every day, because what's actually important is the consistency. Even if it's a little bit, it adds up to a lot. So a little bit of drawing every day, a little bit of work on whatever it is your passion is every day, posting your finished illustrations every week for years, doing a little bit of drawing every night or every morning. That adds up. It adds up a lot more than someone who doesn't draw at all, but then for a weekend suddenly draws all weekend, but then, it's another few months before they draw again. So consistency is important. That's what waters your seeds, and eventually opportunity will grow from that. Opportunities will come, and they may be even better than what you expected. To be honest, a few years ago, I would have never thought that I would be approached by or get some of the opportunities that I've been getting this year. Basically, I feel like this year, things have been growing pretty slowly over the years, but it seems like this year a lot of stuff has suddenly come to fruition. So I feel really lucky and grateful, but I also recognize that I've been working at this for 7 years. I've been drawing forever, but I've been working at building kind of Chrisabug for 7 years, doing digital art, posting my work, creating content for Patreon. And then I've been, it takes a long time sometimes. And maybe there are people who grow faster than I do, but, I've recognized that consistency over the years has kind of led to the opportunities that I have now. And I hope that the actions that I'm taking now and the consistency that I'm continuing on, this momentum, will lead to even better opportunities in the future. Hopefully. And I think that will happen for you too. Whatever it is that your goals are, whatever it is that you're working on, it's just kind of the law of cause and effect, or like kind of karma. So the seed you're planting now and nurturing now will lead to opportunities and stuff for you in the future. I believe it. I believe in you. And thanks for watching, you guys. I hope this little rambling was maybe motivational for somebody out there, or informational. And thank you guys so much for all your support. I very much appreciate it, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Happy drawing.